In the vast theater of human existence, every soul embarks upon a silent, often unacknowledged quest. It is a search for something more profound than fleeting pleasures, transient sorrows. We build lives, we chase ambitions. We gather possessions, yet a quiet question often echoes in the still moments of our hearts. Is this all there is? This deep-seated yearning for meaning, for purpose, for a truth that endures beyond the material world, is a universal human experience. It transcends culture, time, and circumstance. It is the fundamental impulse that separates us from beings of lesser consciousness, pushing us to look beyond the immediate horizon and question the very nature of our reality and our place within the grand cosmic design. This inherent seeking is not a flaw in our design, but rather the most profound feature of our spiritual identity. It is the soul's natural inclination to return to its source, like a river inevitably flowing towards the sea. We may try to ignore this inner call, drowning it out with the noise of daily life and the endless distractions offered by a materialistic society. We might occupy ourselves with career goals, family responsibilities, social engagements, all of which have their place. However, the feeling of incompleteness often remains, a subtle but persistent reminder that our true fulfillment lies not in what we can acquire or achieve in the external world, but in what we can discover within ourselves. This quest is the beginning of all spiritual journeys, the first step out of the slumber of mundane existence. The word guru is a term that has permeated global culture, yet its true, profound meaning is often diluted or misunderstood. In common parlance, it might be used to describe an expert in any field: a business guru, a marketing guru, a fitness guru. While this usage points to a person with specialized knowledge, it barely scratches the surface of the word's sacred spiritual significance as understood in the Vedic tradition. The term guru is a composite of two Sanskrit roots: gu, which means darkness or ignorance, and ru, which means that which removes or dispeller. Therefore, the literal meaning of guru is the dispeller of darkness. This is not just any darkness, but the specific, deep-seated darkness of spiritual ignorance that keeps the soul bound to the cycle of birth and death. A guru, in this authentic sense, is far more than a conventional teacher who imparts academic knowledge or technical skills. A school teacher can teach us mathematics or history, and a professor can explain complex scientific theories. Their role is to fill our minds with information about the material world. The role of the guru, however, is fundamentally different and infinitely more significant. The guru's purpose is not to add more information to our minds, but to facilitate a complete transformation of our consciousness. He does not simply teach us what to think, he teaches us how to see. He provides the spiritual vision, the divine insight, with which we can perceive the reality that lies beyond the grasp of our limited material senses. This distinction is crucial. The knowledge given by an ordinary teacher is external and subject to change. Scientific theories are revised, historical accounts are reinterpreted, and worldly skills become obsolete. The knowledge imparted by a true guru, however, is eternal and unchanging. It is tattva jnana, or knowledge of the absolute truth. This is the knowledge that answers the ultimate questions of life: our true identity as spirit souls, our relationship with the Supreme Being, and the ultimate purpose of our existence. This knowledge does not merely satisfy intellectual curiosity. It liberates the soul from the clutches of illusion, anxiety, and fear, placing it on the path to eternal freedom and happiness. Thus, to see the guru as merely a wise person or a charismatic speaker is to miss the essence of their divine function. The guru is a living conduit for timeless spiritual wisdom, a representative of the absolute truth who has been authorized to transmit that truth to sincere seekers. He is not the source of the light, but the transparent medium through which the light of transcendental knowledge shines into the darkened heart of the conditioned soul. Understanding this profound definition is the first step in appreciating why, in the pursuit of genuine spiritual enlightenment, the guidance of a bona fide guru is not just helpful, but absolutely indispensable. He is the one who holds the key to unlock our spiritual potential. Throughout the spiritual traditions of the world, the powerful analogy of darkness and light is used to describe the human condition. Darkness represents a state of ignorance, illusion, suffering. It is the condition of being unaware of our true spiritual nature. In this state of darkness, we mistakenly identify ourselves with the temporary physical body and its various designations: nationality, profession, family roles. We chase after fleeting material pleasures, believing they will bring us lasting happiness, only to be met with repeated disappointment, anxiety, frustration. This spiritual darkness is not the absence of sunlight. It is the absence of self-knowledge, a deep forgetfulness of our eternal relationship with the Supreme. This darkness causes us to perceive the world in a distorted way. Just as in a dimly lit room one might mistake a rope for a snake and be filled with fear, in the darkness of spiritual ignorance, we mistake the temporary material world for a permanent reality and a source of true shelter. We become entangled in a web of attachments and aversions driven by the relentless demands of the senses. This entanglement, known as Maya or illusion, binds us to the painful cycle of repeated birth, old age, disease, and death. It is a state of perpetual unrest, a life lived in the shadows, where our true potential for eternal bliss, knowledge, existence remains completely obscured from our view. In stark contrast, light represents enlightenment, truth, spiritual awakening. Light is the state of being fully conscious of our real identity as eternal spirit souls, part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit. To step into the light is to awaken from the dream of material existence and to see reality as it is. This is not a metaphorical or poetic concept, it is a tangible shift in perception and consciousness. When the light of transcendental knowledge dawns in our hearts, the illusions that once held us captive simply dissipate, like shadows before the rising sun. The fears, anxieties, desires that tormented us in the darkness are revealed to be baseless illusions. Enlightenment, therefore, is the ultimate goal of the spiritual journey. It is the transition from a life governed by ignorance to a life lived in the brilliance of divine truth. It is the reclamation of our original constitutional position of eternal joy and freedom. However, one cannot simply will oneself out of darkness. Just as a person born in a dark room cannot imagine the sun, a soul deeply conditioned by material existence cannot, by its own effort alone, fathom the nature of spiritual reality. To make the journey from the darkness of ignorance to the light of enlightenment, we require an external source of illumination, a guide who already stands in the light, who can extend a helping hand to lead us out of the shadows. In an age that champions individualism, the idea of submitting to a spiritual guide can seem counterintuitive. We are taught to find our own truth and to be skeptical of authority. While useful in the material world, this mindset becomes an obstacle on the spiritual path. The Vedic scriptures state unequivocally, spiritual progress is impossible without a genuine guru. This isn't to disempower, but a practical fact about transcendental knowledge. Spiritual reality exists beyond our limited senses and speculative minds. We cannot perceive it on our own. Consider a simple analogy. To learn neurosurgery, you wouldn't just read books, you would seek out an experienced surgeon, you would enroll in a medical school. You would undergo years of rigorous training. You accept their authority because they have knowledge you lack. If such guidance is needed for a temporary skill, how much more necessary is it for the eternal science of the soul? To think we can navigate the infinitely subtle spiritual path alone is arrogance born of ignorance. The spiritual path is like a razor's edge, fraught with subtle dangers. The uncontrolled mind, the alluring illusions of the material world are powerful adversaries. Without the steady hand of an experienced guide, a seeker can become lost, discouraged, or misled. The guru acts as a captain, expertly navigating the disciple's ship through turbulent seas. He knows the hidden rocks of pride and the treacherous currents of doubt. He provides the spiritual map, the revealed scriptures, and the personal instruction to stay on course. Seeking a guru is not weakness, but intelligence and sincerity. It is the humble recognition we cannot lift ourselves out of darkness alone. The Vedic aphorism, Tad Vijnanartham sa gurum evabhagachat, commands one to approach a bona fide spiritual master. It is not optional or a lifestyle choice. It is a divine injunction, a prerequisite for crossing the ocean of ignorance and reaching the shore of eternal light. The acceptance of a guru is the pivotal moment when the spiritual journey truly begins in earnest. Having established the universal quest for meaning, the true definition of a guru, the nature of spiritual darkness and light, and the necessity of guidance, We can now see the Guru in his true position. He is not merely a teacher or a philosopher. He is the living, luminous bridge that connects the world of darkness to the realm of enlightenment. On one side of this bridge lies our current condition, a state of confusion, suffering, and ignorance. On the other side lies our ultimate destination, a state of eternal truth, consciousness, and bliss. We stand on the precipice of darkness, longing for the light, but honestly, we do not know how to cross the vast chasm that separates the two. The Guru is the one who makes this crossing possible. This bridge is built upon the foundation of an unbroken chain of spiritual masters known as the Parampara, or disciplic succession. The knowledge the Guru imparts is not his own invention or personal philosophy. It is the same timeless wisdom that has been passed down, unchanged and unadulterated, from the Supreme Lord himself through a lineage of self-realized souls. The Guru's authority and potency come from his faithful connection to this sacred chain. He acts as a transparent via medium, a perfect conduit for delivering the divine message exactly as he has received it from his own spiritual master. This ensures the purity and authenticity of the teachings, safeguarding the seeker from misinformation and speculative philosophies. The journey across this bridge is the process of spiritual practice, or sadhana, which is performed under the Guru's direct supervision. The Guru gives the disciple the tools needed for the journey: the chanting of sacred mantras, the study of revealed scriptures, and the process of rendering devotional service. More importantly, he provides the inspiration and personal example that motivate the disciple to use these tools effectively. He watches over the disciple's progress, corrects his mistakes, and protects him from the dangers along the path. He is both the instructor and the protector, the guide and the guardian. His presence transforms the arduous spiritual journey into a joyful and assured passage. In the chapters that follow, we will explore this transformative process in greater detail. We will delve into the nature of spiritual darkness, understand the specific role the Guru plays in dispelling it, examine the essential qualities of a genuine spiritual master, and witness the incredible transformations that occur under his compassionate guidance. This introduction has set the stage by establishing the fundamental principle. The Guru is the vital link in our quest for enlightenment. He is the merciful personality who takes us by the hand and leads us, step by step, out of the lonely darkness of our material conception of life and into the brilliant, sunlit reality of our eternal spiritual identity. He is the bridge to the absolute. Click, subscribe, and stay connected to the light of spiritual wisdom.